Fight fans, welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It. It's your host, Bando, and I am coming through with the review of the Sandhagen versus Figueiredo matchup. Not just that matchup, but that main card in general. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's get into it, and let's smoke. So this past weekend, Cory Sandhagen took on Deiveson Figueiredo in a quick matchup. It was a pretty quick matchup. Good win by Cory Sandhagen. I'll get to reviewing that in a minute. But opening this main card, we had Jeremy Stephens going up against Mason Jones. Now, both men with their returns back to the UFC. Obviously, Jeremy Stephens, a legend. Mason Jones, somebody just kind of, was a prospect in the game in the UFC. Didn't have much going for him yet. Got cut. Got a couple wins in a different promotion. I'm pretty sure he became a Cage Warriors champion and then ended up coming back over to the UFC. But it was a good fight. It was a good fight at first. The first two rounds, very good, back and forth. Mason Jones had a lot of success. Obviously looking like the younger fighter in there, looking like the fresher fighter. Obviously, Jeremy Stephens hasn't been in the UFC octagon in a little while, so you could see that there was a little bit of like octagon rust in there, almost just like mixing the whole game up and getting that whole, everything back together into one to win a fight just seemed like it might have not fully been there for Jeremy Stephens. But he was fighting good, man. He was fighting as well as he can for a guy coming back in front of his hometown, too. In front of his hometown crowd. They were loud for him. They were extremely loud for him. He was chucking up big right hands, classic Jeremy Stephens style, and he was chucking them. He was almost landing them. He was getting close. He was getting close with some good shots. He landed some good shots. He sent Mason back a couple times. He cut Mason open with some good shots. But Mason's wrestling is really what kind of took over in terms of being able to secure a lot of the decisions, because there was moments where Jeremy Stephens was having a lot of success on the feet, and there would just be one shot that Mason would take, get him down and hold him down long enough to just be able to secure some, I guess, control time. You know what I mean? Like, and he didn't do a ton. He did land some shots. I give him that. He was actually throwing punches. He wasn't just laying on top of Jeremy Stephens. He was throwing punches, and he was attempting for things. But it seemed like every time he tried to go for a submission, it was like at the end of the round already. But first two rounds, pretty back and forth. And then the third round, Mason Jones said, I'm not going to play any games. He went in there, shot for the takedown, got the takedown, controlled 90% of the last round on the ground, got the decision win. Sometimes that's just what a fighter is going to do to secure the win. Is it annoying? Yeah. The fights on Saturday night can definitely show you how much wrestling can be annoying in the entire setting of MMA when it's utilized the way that some of these guys utilize it. When you utilize it in a dominant way to take a guy down, finish him, awesome. You lay on top of somebody, fuck out of here. Like, to me, that don't make me feel like you're a superior wrestler or anything like that. It just makes me feel like, okay, it'd be the same thing as a guy staying on a stand-up, right? He's good at standing up, so he's not going to take you down. He's not going to go down to the ground with you if he knocks you down and you try to force him down. Like, he's going to stay on his feet because he's not going to play that game, right? It's the same with the wrestling aspect. But the wrestlers, they will lay on top for control and just win by decision. And I think that's the most boring part of it. So this next fight, I actually didn't even see it. I did not catch this next fight. It was Montel Jackson's fight. He got the win. Good decision win for him. But I did not see any of it at all. I literally saw none of that fight. It was against Daniel Marcos. So I'm not even really hip to Daniel Marcos. I can't even lie to you. I'm not even going to lie to you. 17-1. That one coming from Montel. So pretty simple there. 17-0 originally, but I guess from the looks of it, looks like Montel Jackson outstruck him. And that was like the main thing. He outstruck him. He threw more too. Definitely threw a lot more in terms of volume. Threw 106 strikes compared to Daniel Marcos in 3 rounds, throwing 43 strikes total. So output matters. Output matters. Sometimes even if you're not having a performance of your life, output matters. So yes, I did not see this fight, but just by seeing the statistics, seeing the stats, seeing the rundown, it matters. Activity matters. Moving on to Santiago Ponzinnibio versus Drod. Drod went out there and did his thing. Pons really thought he was going to stand back up and be okay. You were out, brother. You were out, brother. You were sleeping, my friend. Overall in the fight, the guys were very active, back and forth. You know, I feel like D-Rod was landing the heavier shots, and it almost seemed like it was gonna eventually happen. The one he caught Santiago Ponzinnibio with completely shut his lights out. I mean, just Pons was up trying to get back up. He got up, stood up way too quick, went falling into the cage and everything like that. It was pretty shitty to see. Because like I said, and I said in the breakdown, that Ponzinnibio was supposed to be somebody. Right? He was supposed to be one of those guys. It was around the time when Darren Till was seeming like he was going to end up being one of those guys too. Pons was on that same scale. But unfortunately, Pons got KO'd. Got KO'd, and D-Rod looked good. Can't say nothing bad about it. D-Rod looked good. Pons even looked pretty good. He was throwing well. He was staying in. He was working well on the ground. They were working good in the clinch moments. But it just seemed like D-Rod was landing some heavy shots and overall was just going to end up getting the finish. It just was a matter of time. And he ended up getting it in the 3rd round. So, good win by Daniel Rodriguez. What's next for him? I don't know. I think that's 2 back-to-back wins for him now, I think. So, yeah, 2 back-to-back wins. Because his last fight was against Alex Morono. Got the win against him. So, that's 2 back-to-back wins. He needed the finish, though. So, getting the finish is clutch. Tough division, though. The welterweight division is a tough division because there's so much going on. I don't know really who you match him up against with. Maybe I'll do some sort of matchmaker. I never do matchmakers for free fight nights. I don't know why I never do, but maybe I'll play matchmaker on that one. Then you move on to the co-main event. Bo Nickel versus Reinier de Ridder. And I know people are sick about this one, but Bo got that ass whooped. Bo looked like he only had one route to victory. That was it. Was doing okay on the ground. Was getting the takedowns, right? But Reinier de Ridder, he didn't panic at all. RDR did not panic at all. Not even in the slightest bit. So that's one of those things. When you have a guy who is so confident on the ground and then also so awkward when it comes to standing up, that his confidence was there every time he got taken down that he was going to be okay. He was going to be okay. He was going to get out of the positions, or he was going to avoid getting subbed or anything like that. And then when he was on the feet, he put Bo Nickel in uncomfortable situations. Bo Nickel clearly showed that he does not like getting hit. He does not like being put in an uncomfortable situation. And when his backup plan is not there, or actually his backup plan is his main plan. If the main plan for the game plan ain't there, it's chalked. Chalked. He was trying to stay composed when he was up against the cage when De Ridder was landing those shots, but you could see it in his face, like he did not feel comfortable in there. Reinier de Ridder is one of those guys who has a similar awkwardness to Dricus du Plessis, right? So you got RDR and DDP, three-letter abbreviation names, and both awkward as can be. That is a matchup that hopefully one day we'll get. It would be an interesting one, to be honest with you. It really would. But we'll see how far everything goes with DDP success and stuff like that. But RDR looked sharp, landed some nasty knees, made Bo Nickel feel uncomfortable. And that finishing knee, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Am I going to say Bo Nickel's trash? No. Am I going to say that people have overhyped him? 100%. 100%. people, it's not, well, it is kind of him too. I can't even lie. It is kind of him too. Talking about how he was going to be number one pound for pound, how he can go out there and out wrestle Hamzat and beat Hamzat and this and that. And it's just, clearly he's starting to see it's a different ball game, and he's got to work at every aspect of the game. And if he wants to really be able to become number one pound for pound, be able to grow and become a champion, you have to get past the nitty gritty. You have to get in there and get into heavy scraps. You have to bring the dog out, because you're going to have to get into dog fights to end up getting in that position. Look at all the great champions. They've all had their own dog fights that they had to get into to get to where they are. So it's one of those things. And Bo Nickel hasn't had that yet, because he hasn't had anybody that's challenging him on the opposite side when it comes to his threat of wrestling. So great win by RDR. And it's just back to the drawing boards for Bo Nickel. Now, for Sandhagen and Figueiredo, it's pretty simple. Sandhagen had every aspect of that fight won. He came in looking like he was ready to get a finish, to get a win. And just before the fight, I was saying, man, he's not a finisher. I don't feel like he's a finisher unless he gets one of those crazy, beautiful shots. He's not like somebody that goes out there, has this one punch knockout power or finish or anything like that. But he's so crafty, right? And he's so slick in certain situations that he can get a finish. He can secure a finish at any given moment. I wasn't saying it as if he's not good enough to do it, or he's never done it before. Obviously, he's done it. He knocked out Frankie Edgar. He's knocked out Marlon Moraes. He's gotten some nasty finishes, right? He beat up Song Yadong pretty bad as well. Got a nasty cut over, I think it was over Isaiah, or on his head or something like that. But it was a nasty cut. Like, he is a very skilled fighter in every aspect, and he could be dangerous, and he showed his danger against Figueiredo. He came out extremely prepared. He was looking like he wanted to get in a scrap. Once they started actually swinging, Figgy obviously was always looking for the big shot, and I don't know why Figgy wanted to engage in any wrestling, why he wanted to engage in any groundwork. And it's not that Cory is such a good, amazing wrestler, or such a good, amazing jiu-jitsu artist, but he's slick and he's unique and he's different, and that's exactly what happened. Figueiredo gets stuck in a position where it's not going to be an easy one to get out of. Not going to be an easy one to get out of, and it wasn't, because it's a position, and Cory Sandhagen was breaking it down. Maybe I'll just put that little snippet in the video.
You carried away.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a pop submission, you know. It was like the position's called 50-50. If you don't know how to play 50-50, you're going to pop your knee. I spun under. I went for a backside 50-50. It didn't hit. He got on top. I sat up really hard just to get on top. And if I sit up hard and you don't sit back, your knee is going to pop. It happened to TJ when I did that to him. It happened to Figgy. I heard it click really loud. So that wasn't like an accidental thing. That was like a, hey, Figgy, you're either going to sit down on your butt or we're popping your knee. And that's what happened.
But you see, he mentions that the move is called the 50-50. And you have to move in a certain position immediately. You got to do it pretty quick, or that knee is going to get popped. And that's exactly what you saw. And it was a great win by Cory Sandhagen. And there's no other thing that needs to be discussed. This man needs to get a title shot, right? He needs to get a title shot. Just put him up there as the next guy. Put him as backup for Merab and Sean. It's not a bad idea. He didn't take any damage in this fight. So put him as the backup for Merab and Sean. You know he'll be ready. You know he'll make weight. So just get this man to the title shot. Simple as that. Give him the opportunity. Give him the title shot. There's really nobody else making crazy noise at 135. Obviously, we saw Umar got elevated quickly and got shut down just as fast. So Cory has been working in the division. He has been digging. He has been grinding. He has been working his ass off to get to where he can get. And he has fought everybody that people don't want to fight when they're on their way up. He has fought down multiple times. It is time for Cory Sandhagen to get a title shot. Simple as that. Appreciate you guys for watching this episode. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, bell notification. I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.